Yeah, all right. So I think like the first thing you have to think about is what the song is. Do all like the musical thinking ahead of time. It's not something that you can improvise easily,
Nope.
unless everybody else plays off of like one person's improvisation. This definitely has to be pre-recorded or pre-composed, rehearsed, and thought about in terms of who's playing what. I think just as if you were going to record anything,
Hmm.
um, if you're going to do it as if you were doing like a garage band recording, multi-tracking, you have to plan it out ahead of time. Um, I think the biggest thing is how many people are going to be a part of it.
Yes.
And then that is going to be your maximum grid size. So, easiest are squares, as you see with like Zoom. The most pleasing to the eye are going to be squares or rectangles. Um, and then once you get into more complicated odd numbers or odd squares, um, it gets a little harder to place them and have it not look a little um, wonky. But that's okay
Yeah.
too. That's part of it.
Hmm.
Um, it's just things to consider. If you can even it out to 2, 4, 9, 12, 15, 16, anything that is sort of like that you can
Hmm.
form into squares. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Like you saw with the Superphones video, it was like this, and then it was the long ways. So.
yeah. And then you then have to place them a little bit differently in post,
Hmm.
and it it is.
Hmm.
Um, I usually I try I have a what I like to do is I have a an image that is like a black background in the different grid forms that is a .png file. That way you can see through it, and that becomes the top layer of the video.
Hmm.
It makes it a little bit easier. When you don't use it, you have to line up the squares exactly with space or butt them up exactly together, and by hand or eyeballing it, that can be um,
Hard.
hard.
Yeah.
Whereas if there's like that black border, or you can change the color throughout them, it gives you a little more wiggle room for cropping,
Right.
scooching, scooching.
Yeah.
Um, and then whether you're filming vertically or horizontally is something to think about ahead of time.
Hmm.
If people will inevitably do it however they
Different
do it
ways. Yeah.
in different ways, and then that just becomes something that you have to work with. But if you can formalize, everybody agrees on either one way or the other, it makes editing a lot easier.
Hmm. Yeah. Um.
And if depending on the song or piece that you're playing, does the music change throughout? Like, do you want to, like in Hamilton, where it starts off with 1 or 2, then 4, then back to 1 solos, if you want to highlight soloists or whatnot. Or if it's like the 5 Seconds of Summer, where it's just the grid the entire time. Um, those are other things to think about ahead of time that makes it easier to plan the filming, or when you're moving things around, that always just adds extra um, editing time.
Yeah. So being mindful of if you have a deadline on this, how much time and effort do you have to be able to add in those transitions and change the
Mm-hmm.
grids?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not necessarily hard; it's just time consuming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So once you've
Um,
decided that, um,
did we wait? Did we talk about
you
the
could,
basic, the background track?
that's what I was gonna think about next.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Yeah. Oh
I
no.
missed your transition.
Um, once, as Gabby said, um, once you've sort of defined like the orchestration of it, I guess everybody that's going to participate needs a click track to play along with. And the best way to do it is perhaps you as a therapist just play one. It's going to be thrown away later, or maybe you keep it. But basically, something that everybody will listen to and play along with, and that's going to keep everybody on at the same time. The best way to do it is just count off 1, 2, 3, and go into it.
Mhm.
And if you can have everybody, if it works out to have everybody sort of counted off too, that can make it easier to put all the videos together. If it messes with the look of it, it's a few more moments of sliding
Mm-hmm.
the videos left and right to get them to line up. But having the waveforms to see 1, 2, 3. I like to leave off the 4 as just some space. Um, but even just 1 or 1, 2, so you can match the waveform of your track and the waveform of their track to the beginnings.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it a lot easier at the beginning.
Yeah, and also when you're making these backing tracks, if you need to isolate different tracks for people to hear their part specifically, or if they just want accompaniment, that's important to be able to provide that. So in an example that James and I are going to share later on, or I guess throughout this, here's just an example of the track that we did. So I used Soundtrap, and I just made, hold on, there you go. I just made a drum track and some tracks on MIDI. And then when I was exporting, I exported an entire MP3 with everything. So that's called a rehearsal or practice track. And then for individual parts, you can just mute and then export again, and you'll have an accompaniment or backing track. And also, if you're working with a couple of people and doing collaborations, Soundtrap is really great because you can discuss on here, and they can add stuff, and you can just work on it together.
Yeah, that's a great way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with Soundtrap, you can also add in vocal lines for somebody to sing along to.
Yes.
If they, depending on the different cues that they might need.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Yep.
So you send them, you send all the participants in the video a copy of that.
Mm-hmm.
And their job is to record themselves playing along with it.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Is it?
Is it? That's what I mean. That's all, depending on your needs, that's sort of maybe part of the process, is the rehearsal, the building that together. Maybe you build that click track together, or maybe you do a couple takes together. When I did the virtual band with the resident at home, he recorded his parts live to me, basically. So like I told him to hit record, and then I hit the click track on my end to simplify it so I could see it. I didn't record it you can record Zoom. I could have done that, and they wouldn't have had to send it to me. But then it's there's still latency and bandwidth, and just the video quality of a recorded Zoom call is what you're watching right now. But having the parents stand to the side, record their audio or record the video of it, and then send it to me. That's how we did that. So basically, I digress. You send them the copy of the click track or the backtrack. They need 2 devices, 2 things. One thing to play it on, to play the click track on, and one thing to record it on.
Yeah.
And that can look like a couple different ways, and headphones. So basically, say you send them, maybe you upload it to YouTube, and they plug the headphones into the computer and watch the recording on YouTube, and a parent uses their phone to record the video of them singing along. Parent then sends you the file, or caregiver sends you that recording. And ideally, if they can have everything as quiet as possible in the background, the better. Frame it up kind of like you're seeing us right now, or however you all want to frame it. But a good starting spot is to keep it consistent throughout, the same, and then use your artistic decisions and clinical judgment to make those changes as needed. Like if they're playing an instrument or if they're singing, where's the focus?
Yeah. And then if you are in person, a way that you can do it, especially social distance, is to have the camera set up somewhere and then have your resident with their phone or their own device, and upload or send the audio file to them so that they can listen to it and just have them come in and perform for you while you're on the other side. And then have that so that it takes out a couple more steps of them having to send you the file.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes it, I think, easier for you too, if you can. Then once you start asking lots of different people to send it in lots of different ways, it can be hard to keep track of. But you've got this. You got it.
Yay!
So the participant needs minimal equipment really to do it. If you have good equipment and you can do it with people nearby, that makes it kind of it ups it a little bit. We did that actually for a fundraiser for here a little while ago. We made one also, and I was able to use my big Sony camera and hook up a condenser mic to it, and then put the microphone actually up to the resident and staff and have them sing into it. So we had a good microphone and good camera all at the same time, and then we were able to keep it all in house, which was nice. But that is, I know, something that not everybody has access to.
Yeah.
But if the phones do great.
Yeah.
They do great. I mean, look at the Hamilton one. It's not, those are all their phones. And probably on the portrait, on the front camera too. So you don't need the good camera, especially because all the pictures are going to be shrunk down anyway. You use your iPad.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Your Surface. Use the webcam
your laptop
that you're looking at right now. That I'm looking at right now. Use what you've got.
The best camera is the one that you have.
So that's the hardware, I guess, as well as something to edit it on from your end, the therapist. Thankfully, I'm lucky to have Final Cut Pro. I know Gabby uses something different.
Yes, I use VSDC, which is a free software for PC, but I also have used Capwing, which is an online editor for PC. Or not PC, online. It's an online editor for everything. Yeah.
That's cool.
And then also, again, with telehealth, Zoom allows you to record your sessions or record whatever, your video and the audio, so you can have the video track and the audio track. So that kind of also cuts out a step if you're doing this completely virtually.
And then you can use iMovie. With most of the things, I think you and I have talked about, Gabby, iMovie is a really good substitute, but with virtual bands, iMovie is a bit of a bear. It's possible, but it's a pain in the butt. We'll put a link to another video of somebody doing it. And when I found it and watched it, I was like, that's like mixing down with like an old 8-track to 4-track to 3. You got to mix it down. And then once you mix it down, you can't change it. Because you're basically you're making a picture-in-picture and then merging it with another file and then another picture-in-picture and then merging it together. Anything more than 2, I think, with iMovie is gonna be painful. You're gonna have a bad day until they let you do more than 2 tracks in iMovie, which is Final Cut Pro. That's I think the purposeful limitation.
Yeah.
Sorry. There are also apps out there that'll do it. Acapella.
Oh yeah. Acapella is actually an old app. It's been around for a while.
I used to use it before. Acapella turned into TikTok, basically. I think. Am I right in that? It's like it branched off. I feel like
I think it's a branch off. Yeah. But I don't think it's like.
I know it didn't turn into, but like it evolved from it. Never mind. Acapella's been around for a while.
Yeah. I actually have a video of myself using it when I was in grad school.
Can we see it?
You want to see it?
See its potential, its capabilities?
Yes. Yeah, you can. Okay, you're gonna have to cut the Google Doc, but
Okay.
Here you go.
I have someone like that.
Yeah. There you go. Acapella, look at it.
2016, almost exactly 5 years ago. Wow.
Daylight come and me won't go home. Daylight come and me won't go home. 2016, man.
So what's nice with acapella is that it's just built into the app itself.
Mm-hmm.
All the recording, you just use the camera on the iPad or iPhone or whatever. That's a free version. The paid version gives you a few more options. I think the hardest part with that is that once you choose your grid size,
you can't change it. Yeah.
That one takes a lot of planning, which is okay too. I mean,
it's also like you can't. Well, at that point in 2016, I wasn't able to upload different videos together. Like you had to record one video and then immediately record the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was messing around with it a couple weeks ago. I did the paid version, the free trial. I hope I canceled that trial. I can look into that. Not much has changed. You can share with other people and they can you can send it like soundtrack to other people, but you're basically sending the file, then they add to it and then they send it back as opposed to like an actual shared document. It works. You can create with it and you can share with other people with it. I think the trade-off is of the ease of it is the trade-off is the challenge of not being is it's constraints. Like once you record the time, that's how long it's going to be. You can't add like fades or zoom in on a particular soloist, and that's fine. Like I think it just depends on your needs. I think if that's what you want to do, like that is a lot easier than even doing Final Cut Pro.
Yeah.
Because it's just cut and dry. Like it's a template basically.
Right.
Which is very nice.
Yeah, definitely. And then there's Cyborg Llama.
Cyborg Llama. That came up on my Facebook feed this morning. It must have known we were getting ready to do this. That one is a browser-based one, so it's laptops only. And that one is a bit. You can like the free version is up to 3 peeps, and then they have different plans, anywhere from $5 a month to $60 a month, depending on if you need 500 people, which I think some educators might actually need, depending on how many bands they have. It's educational components.
Yeah, this definitely cuts out a lot of time.
Like it lines it up for you. It looks like I think it's just you play along with it, and I don't know if it actually lines it up for you as opposed to you're just playing at the right time.
Yeah.
But no editing is a bonus.
It's very much a bonus. Yes, definitely.
And if your need is to just be able to play with other people, it works.
Yeah.
It seems like it works. I haven't tried it yet. They found me this morning.
Cyborg Llama. This is a good resource. Yeah.